Salutations readers, welcome back to the City Girl Writer channel. My name is Nkechi, and for today, I'm doing a dedicated reading vlog for the holiday book rush. Now, the holiday book rush is a readathon hosted by Jesse from Jesse on YouTube. This is the second annual holiday book rush readathon, which is pretty much just a reading-thon where we read books regarding winter holidays. So, not just Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Diwali, just winter solstice thing, like anything that's like a winter holiday. That's the whole point. So it starts today as I'm recording, which is December 19th to the 26th. I'm only explaining this stuff because I want to keep this a record for y'all to know about it for next year, because by the time this video goes up, y'all, it would already passed. But I already made an announcement on my community tab here on YouTube and my Instagram about the things. So first up, so Jesse is the main host, but we have co-hosts. So we have Heather from Here Booktubes, Mikay from Mikay's Book Vlogs, Sandra from Got a Thing for Things, and Nina, who's only on Instagram, whose handle is The Wandering Reader. And I'm also a co-host as well. So yes, I am also a co-host. And there are reading sprints. There's actually going to be reading sprints today, so the 19th at 6 p.m. It's going to be on Jesse's channel. Yeah, so those are the reading sprints, and there are teams. I thought there were prompts, but honestly there are teams. So we have Team Diwali, where you read a book where a protagonist faces a challenging decision, like a holiday book. Kwanzaa, a holiday book starring black protagonists, black families. Christmas, read a holiday classic or crowd favorite. Hanukkah, read a holiday book centering a game or a large gathering. So yeah, those are the teams. I haven't really decided on which team, because honestly I really thought them to be more prompts than a team, which is fine. Honestly, I'm just gonna hoppity hop pretty much around. Some of the books I'll be reading will not fit to a prompt or a team, and others will definitely fit into a team. But anyways, let's just quickly get into the things I plan to read for this vlog. So I will say this, I've already started reading one of the books already. In fact, I started it yesterday, the day before this readathon, but I kind of want to get a little bit of a head start, but also I was just curious to read this book. But anyways, as far as my TBR, all the books that I'm reading, or at least I plan to read for this reading vlog, are all romance books. Yeah, not really intentional, but yeah, they were romance books. Which if you've been in my channel, if you know me, just even on my Instagram, you would know romance is not really my genre. But you know what? That's okay. Because I didn't necessarily want to write off romance, but I just struggle with romance. So I figured, you know what? Let's see a holiday romance, because I've never really read a holiday romance. Then again, I never really read holiday books, festive books, because that's just usually not what I read. But I was like, well, for a holiday themed, festive themed readathon, might as well give it a shot, right? So yeah, as far as formats, we have audiobooks and ebooks. Thankfully, actually, I finally now have a Kindle. I finally got one. I actually got pretty much as an early Christmas gift for myself, honestly, is to get a Kindle. So I will be doing some reading on my Kindle. And also, though, I will be, I think, sporadically reading Freedom is a Constant Struggle in the background. Mostly because of the fact I really just want to get through with this book. And I do also have it as an ebook as well. So we're moving physically to an ebook with this one. But yeah, just want to let y'all know I also will be reading Freedom is a Constant Struggle. So let's start with actually the book I've started reading, and that is Lunar Love. This was a book that I heard so much about in the beginning of the year. I thought it was February, but I guess it came out in January. I started reading Lunar Love. I read it as an audiobook. It's a romance book, adult romance book, featuring two mixed race Chinese people who something about the industry of love. One homegirl here, what's her name again? Olivia. She is now head of this matchmaking based on Chinese zodiac kind of business with her family. And then the main guy here is like the CEO, creator of like a dating app regarding the Chinese zodiac. She thinks that he stole the idea from her family kind of thing. So it's like enemies to lovers. So I've already like around halfway through the book, and I like it so far. I'm not really loving it, but that's fine. I don't really expect myself to love romance, but like as long as it doesn't annoy me, then we're good. Okay, just don't make me feel like I'm suffering. If we're not suffering here, then we're good. You're at least gonna get a 3-star. So far, it's solid. All right, I like it so far. You all know my thoughts about it when I finish it, which I definitely see myself finishing it later today. Next up, I have a Holly Jolly Diwali, which definitely fits into the Diwali team for sure. And genuinely, I do not know what this book is about. I just know it's based on Diwali. I do know main girl, something about her life, and she gets invited to a wedding, I think in India, and I think it takes place during Diwali. Sounds interesting. The audiobook is pretty short. I think it's about 7 hours, so yeah, why not, honestly? And also get an interesting chance to read from a culture or holiday that I've never really known much about, which is really the goal of this readathon, honestly, is to read different holiday books from varying holidays that you don't participate in. And then I have, let's see, I think it's Mangoes and Mistletoe, which is what I'm going to be reading on my Kindle. This one is a foodie holiday novella that's actually recommended by Jesse. And I don't know, it's sapphic, featuring Afro-Latinas. So what else is there for me to ask? I don't know. It just seemed really interesting to me. Next book, 8 Kinky Nights, which is also going to be a Kindle read because I heard of this one also because of Jesse. And this one's more regarding Hanukkah. We're featuring also much older protagonists. Like, I'm talking like late 40s, early 50s, which I'm like, I've never read a book like that before. So yeah, this one is about, it's a female Hanukkah erotic romance, I think, because it's featuring queer characters for sure. Fat rep, autistic rep, polyamory, disabled. There's a lot of rep in this that I'm really trying to remember. And also there's a lot about kinks and stuff, and it's a great age protagonist. Yeah, I think one of the protagonists is trying to learn kink, and the other one is like a practice sub person, something like that. I don't really know, but honestly, I'm just here to learn, and I'm very curious to read it. And then finally, I have Love Radio, which one is it's not holiday, it's young adult contemporary romance, but it just sounded so much similar, and not so much similar, but like it just reminded me honestly of like Honey and Spice by Bolo Baba Lola, that I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And we'll see how I feel about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's really my main TBR, and then my one book I'll be putting into this vlog. So yeah, as far as anything else, so that's reading wise, I do have a few Christmas films that I want to rewatch, honestly. It's not really the more popular ones, it's more not so popular ones. So there's like Arthur Christmas, which I think came out in 2011. It's an Armin Sony animated produced film that I really enjoyed. And then we have Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. It's a Netflix original. It's like more Christmas musical number thing, and I really like it. It features black protagonists, so I'm always here for it. And then Klaus, which I remember being nominated, I think it was nominated for the Oscars for like Best Animated Feature. And it's also a Netflix original, and I really had a great time with it when I watched it a few years ago. And I really have been meaning to rewatch these Christmas films because I haven't really been rewatching Christmas films in a while. So yeah, I definitely plan to do that for this week, especially closer to the holiday. That's pretty much all my plans there. So that's TBR, some possible Christmas movies. And yeah, now I'm just really preparing myself for the reading sprints later on today. And I think I'm going to continue on reading Lunar Love. So yeah, I'm definitely going to update y'all later when I finish Lunar Love. Hey everyone, so today is Wednesday night. It's around 9:20, and I do have a couple updates. Actually, I have several updates actually. So I already finished 2 books off my TBR, which is very interesting. Also, thank you to everyone that came to the reading sprints yesterday. Had a great time. It was really, really nice to sprint with Jesse and Heather, and I definitely hope to be invited to co-host more sprints in the future, whether it's for this readathon or for other things. So looking forward to that. And I didn't make it to Sandra's sprints, which were when I was it was today, but I was at work, so I couldn't join in for that. But I will still link her replay in the description. And also the sprints from yesterday at Jesse's channel, also in the description as well. So first up, in the reading sprints yesterday, I finished reading Lunar Love by Lauren Kong Jessen. And this is actually a debut novel. It came out this year, actually. So this follows 2 characters who, actually mostly the main girl here, Olivia, who is now the head of her family's matchmaking business thing that started from her grandmother and is pretty much based on compatibility regarding the Chinese zodiac. And then her enemy is this guy that I'm already starting to blank on his name. Bennett. Okay, I remember now. Bennett. He is the CEO and creator of like this dating app that also talks about the Chinese zodiac as well. And yeah, so far, I already finished it. So I finished it, I read it via audio, and I actually really enjoyed it. I actually was very surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I give it 4 stars. I think it was really good. I liked the descriptions of food, which really made me so hungry. Like, oh my gosh. Now it's called Lunar Love because the matchmaking business that Olivia is not the head of is called Lunar Love. Now the book itself does not take place during the Lunar New Year. It leads up to the Lunar New Year. So at first we were pretty much like months or weeks, several weeks ahead of the Lunar New Year, and then it ends in like the Lunar New Year. So yeah, which is fine. Really liked it. I actually did start getting pretty invested actually in the romance between these two. At first I was a little bit hesitant because main girl Olivia was a little bit I think she's been a little just antagonistic towards Bennett here. I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's because I just didn't understand, or maybe it's because I just didn't care for Bennett like that. I'm just like, I don't know, girl. I think you're being a little too harsh here. But then over time, started to understand more of Olivia and also Bennett as well, and started to actually get invested in the romance. And that's really why I really rate romances, because like I don't really rate romances in the sense of like, oh, I feel titillated or anything, because honestly I'm Arrow A, so really that does literally nothing for me. But as long as I'm invested in the romance, the story itself, their love for each other, then that's how I'm gonna rate the romance. So then I decided to start and finish another one, which is a Holly Jolly Diwali by Sonia Lalali. So this one follows an Indian American girl named, why am I already forgetting her name? Oh my gosh. Hold up, what is her name? Nikki. Yes. So we follow Nikki, who pretty much got laid off from her job and is invited to her friend's wedding, and she goes to this wedding because she's like, well, I'm employed, so might as well have an adventure. And she meets this guy named, what's his name? Sam. Yes, Nikki and Sam. Okay, there we go. We're remembering now. So Nikki meets Sam. They pretty much hit it off. There's definitely an instant attraction and stuff. And yeah, so pretty much the book starts off a little bit before Diwali, and then we have the friend's wedding that takes place during Diwali, and all the festivities regarding Diwali, which I actually thought was really, really cool. Diwali is not it's actually a holiday I'm not really familiar with as far as the innings and workings of it. So yeah, it was actually really, really cool to learn about that in this book here. And also for the main character too, because she's born and raised in the United States, and it's not something that her family particularly celebrates. They're familiar with, but they don't really celebrate it. And yeah, I like this one. I think it's more like a 3.5. I kind of went 3.5 because it felt like a pretty solid romance book, but it also kind of feels like a 3 because I wasn't quite as invested in the romance necessarily. Not so much. I liked it, but I don't know. I think it was just solid. But yeah, I pretty much read these 2 romance books pretty much within like a course of 2 days. So yeah. And while I was listening to these audiobooks to and from work and all that stuff and at home, I also started reading a book from my Kindle, and that is Mangoes and Mistletoe. I literally only started like I think I only read the first chapter, and so far I do like it. I'm interested. It follows 2 Afro-Dominican women who are participating in this like food baking competition, and it is a novella, so it'll be short. I do like it. I'm intrigued. First time reading on the Kindle like that. That's like at least not like freedom is a constant struggle. So yeah, honestly, I just like it so far. I've only read the first chapter, so not really much to say, but I started reading it. But yeah, that's pretty much all my updates actually for the past couple of days, really. And so far, romance is working for me. I have not felt like DNFing anything, so that's good. And I have not suffered, so that's also good. Let's keep it up, please. So I'm gonna update y'all in like a couple of days. Maybe I'll update y'all Friday? Yeah, I'll update y'all Friday. So see y'all then. Hey everyone, so today is Friday. So yeah, I just want to update y'all. So first off, I finished the book, and I was watching reading sprints hosted by Jesse and also co-hosted by Jan. I will link the reading sprint down below. It's called Readathon versus Holiday Book Rush. It'll be in the description so y'all can watch the replay. But I want to update y'all because I continued reading Mangoes and Mistletoe. This one, I'm indeed enjoying it. I do like it. My thing is that maybe this is because of the trope thing, but maybe Grumpy Sunshine isn't quite really my thing. Because the 2 main girls here, what were their names? Kiskaya and Sully. One of them is easily the sunshine, and the other is definitely a grump. and I don't really think I like that trope. I did read one book that was like the grumpy sunshine trope, and I did really enjoy it, but for other ones, not so much. So I don't think the grumpy sunshine trope is really the trope for me, but I'm still going to continue on reading it though. I'm indeed enjoying it. We haven't gone to the actual competition part of the story yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Although another thing too though that actually kind of irritated me a little bit was the lack of descriptions regarding like, because here's the thing, this baking competition, holiday baking competition thing that these two are on, their teammates for, it's set in Edinburgh, Scotland, but yet I'm not really getting the descriptions as if we're supposed to feel like we're in Scotland, which I don't really like at all. Honestly, I don't like that. If we're gonna be in Scotland, can we make it feel and seem like we're in Scotland? So yeah, not really liking that, but I'm still liking the story though, so I'm gonna keep on going with it. We'll see how it goes when I get to the end. It's also a novella, so it shouldn't take me very long. And I want to talk to y'all about the book I finished today. But first, before I do that though, I actually want to show y'all that I'm crocheting. Now, I haven't been crocheting in like years. Honestly, it's been so long, but life circumstances made me kind of like drop it, even with knitting as well. But I decided to go back into crocheting because I actually really miss just doing it. And I definitely prefer crocheting more than knitting. When I was younger, I preferred knitting, but this time around, no, I'm way more interested in crocheting. And look, it's actually really, really long. So I've been moving through colors. So we have a color here, here, and then here. Yeah, I have a lot of colors. This is just a new project, so yes, I know that it's different colors, but I literally just go with like, hey, I'm using this one particular yarn, and I'm just gonna keep crocheting with it. And then if I'm out of yarn, then I switch to the next color. But I think this is the 4th yarn that I'm doing for this particular blanket, and I think this will be the final one. As you can tell though, there's not much on here because I literally just started. So yeah, I'm just gonna crochet while I talk about my thoughts and feelings on Love Radio by Ebony Liddell. So I read this book. I started reading it yesterday and I finished it today. I finished it like 20-30 minutes ago, and I loved it. Like, one of the best books I read this year. I don't know if I'll make it to the best books of 2023 video, but I just want to let y'all know, at least for this vlog, one of the best books I read. So, Love Radio follows 2 black high school seniors, one named Danielle and the other named Prince, yes, like the artist. And Prince is a radio show host, he's actually a host and a DJ for like this radio station where he gives like love advice to people who call in, and he like gives music selections. And we have Danny, who wants to be like a writer, like an author, and she wants to go to NYU to pursue her writing dreams. But for Prince though, he's trying to think of staying home or local so he can take care of his mom and be there for his younger brother. Prince had this crush on Danny ever since they were in middle school. So then finally, when they're senior year, he finally gets to like talk to her, and he somehow convinces her that, hey, I want to see if I can get you to fall in love with me in like 3 days, because Danny says like, I don't really believe in love and stuff. Like, sure, it's like maybe like love for me, not so really, especially with a guy and stuff. And he's like, you know what? Let me prove you wrong. 3 dates to see if you can fall in love with me. So that's really it's kind of like the idea, and I really loved it. First of all, it's dual narrated, so there are 2 POVs. We have Danny and Prince, and then we also have the 2 narrators, which they did a fantastic job. I love the narrators, and just seeing these 2 falling in love and understanding love for themselves and for each other, but also just learning to ask for help, because both of them doing with their own things, and just seeing them not only trust each other, but just learning to understand that, hey, I need to like work on myself, like I appreciate that level of honesty and self-reflection between the 2 of them, that even if that maybe things might not work out, maybe things might change in the future, but as long as they're become better people in the end, and better people for themselves, and grow and mature and change, and that's all that matters. And honestly, I really love that for them. I really do. And I give this book 5 fucking stars. Like, what else is there really to say? Like, this is just a great young adult contemporary romance. Now, is it a holiday book? No. I mean, there is a point though in the story, because it does take place over like months. So I think it takes place somewhat early into the school year, and then somewhere towards the end. And there is a point where there is a point in the story where it's around the Christmas holiday. So feel like it could kind of count, but not really. I just really wanted to read it because just why not? It seemed like a nice, easy romance book, and I loved it. One of the best books I read this year. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for y'all. Hey everyone, so today is Christmas Eve, actually. It is Christmas Eve evening. I finished 2 books, and I'm sorry, my brain is really, I'm a little tired. I literally came back from a Christmas Eve service, because if you don't know, I am Christian, I do go to church, I even volunteer at a church too, so I was doing that in the morning. Yeah, it was just a lot. So let me try to remember what happened even yesterday. I was like, I don't know. Yesterday, I did finish a book yesterday. And then I finished a book today while I was at church. So yeah, I ain't just sitting there. I had an ebook. So actually, I need to put the Kindle up anyways because I finished 2 books via my Kindle. So first up, the first book I finished, which was really yesterday, was Mangoes and Mistletoe by Adriana Herrera. So this one's a holiday foodie novella. It's sapphic, featuring Afro-Latinas. So here's the thing. I liked it. I didn't love it. And I actually have a couple issues with it. So I rated it 2.75 stars. It was pretty close to just being a decent novella, but honestly, the actual romance between the 2 main girls here, I didn't really see it much as a romance. I saw it as more like they were lusting between each other. Like, they were just so highly attracted to each other. And I'm just like, I know that's nice and all, but I need more than just that. And I think the sex scenes themselves were good. I wanted more out of the 2 of them, honestly. Honestly, I'm starting to realize that Grumpy Sunshine is a trope that does not work for me. Sunny, Grumpy Sunshine, they're not it just don't work for me. So I'm glad I learned that about myself, at least. Also, I actually had a problem with one of the girls. Which one was it? I think it's Kikea? Yeah, Kikea. She irritated me for a long bit. The thing with the problem with the Grumpy Sunshine trope for me is that I find the grumpy one a little bit too grumpy and the sunshine a little bit too sunshine. Like, if it's gonna be Grumpy Sunshine, I need, like, a little bit of it, which I know for people who are fans of it, they don't want that. So it's very much obvious that the Grumpy Sunshine does not work for me. I was really having trouble with Kikea because of the fact that, like, she knew she was wrong in her internal monologue, and it's also dual POV, so if you're interested as well with dual POV, good for you, which also I will give props for that, because I love me some dual POV, but I just did not like her personally, honestly. I think her character is fine, as well as, like, Sully's as well, but I was not really liking Kikea at all, really. She grew on me a little bit as time went on, but overall, And I think my also main problem with this novella was the fact that I know it's short, but it didn't need to go so fast. Like, the whole premise of them even meeting together is for this holiday baking competition thing that the winner gets, like, money that you split with your partner, because it's like a partner thing. So you have a partner, you split the money if you win, and you also get an opportunity for, like, an apprenticeship, which is fine and all, but, like, I really kind of a little bit more, I really wanted some of that competition stuff. Like, I'm a pretty competitive person, so, like, if there's gonna be competition in the book, I want it in the book, but it's not really there for me. It's not like it's not there, but, like, we definitely rushed through that, so it's definitely faster paced there, and I don't really like that. I was also mad about the fact that, sure, it takes place in Edinburgh, Scotland, because that's where the baking competition is set in, but it didn't feel like we were in Scotland. Like, I know it's in Scotland because it's been telling me over and over again that we're in Scotland, but I didn't really get much descriptions of it. Like, I'm just like, I had to, like, in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, they're in Scotland, but, like, there's not much actual descriptions that give me Scotland. And for someone who has read the entire Raven, Fisher, and Simpson mystery series, where it takes place in, like, late 1840s, early 1850s, Edinburgh, Scotland, that's very much, it's also written by a Scottish author, so, like, descriptions of the historical setting of Scotland were there. So, like, in this contemporary setting, I'm kind of pretty disappointed here. So, yeah, 2.75 stars. Okay, but then, today, oh yeah, I forgot. I showed y'all my crochet blanket in progress, and now I actually finished it. So yeah, I finished this color, and it has the other colors. It's too long. I'm not trying to show y'all. Y'all already saw most of it. I just finished the color I was doing. So that's all y'all need to know. So yeah, I finished my crochet blanket project, and I finally finished my nonfiction that I've been reading for, like, I think it's been nearly a month now. Yeah, I think I started reading late November, and now I finished it, like, today. Like, I was literally reading it while I was, like, in church service when I had some time, and yeah. So I finished reading Freedom is a Constant Struggle, and I did finish reading it via ebook, because apparently Freedom is a Constant Struggle is available on Kindle Unlimited. And since it's a new Kindle, I had 2 months of free KU, so I just went with, you know what, let's just finish this up as an ebook. So yeah, but I'm gonna hold this up though. So Freedom is a Constant Struggle is a collection of interviews and essays by Angela Y. Davis. I went into this specific nonfiction because it was pretty much circulated, especially on Bookstagram, regarding book recommendations on books about Palestine, or at least to educate yourself on Palestine, whether that's history or just some general nonfiction. And for this is my, well, I want to say this. One, let me just say this stuff right now so y'all already know. So number one, this is my first time reading anything by Angela Y. Davis. Like, she's an author, speaker, activist, that she's pretty new to me. I didn't really even know who she was until this year. I know, I said what I said, and I'm going to tell y'all, this will not be my last. 2, this is the first book I've actually read as like an actual book regarding Palestine. That's what I said, right? Reading this now, I can see that this is great foundation, but it's not really a foundation really on Palestine itself. Like, I think it's a good introduction into like just global solidarity and the foundations of liberation movements regarding like really the liberation of Palestinians, and also talks about Freguson, because it also says Freguson as well, like Freguson, Missouri, as well. Even reference Angela Y. Davis even talks about the South African apartheid. Like, she references past and current movements, and I think that's what really the main focus of this is, regarding just liberation movements, but not really Palestine itself. Like, there's definitely a lot of references to Palestine. Like, she does that in like I think every one of her speeches. I think all of her speeches have references to Palestine. I think there's a couple interviews for sure in the beginning here in regards to Palestine as well, and I really appreciate that, actually. So it's just to show that, hey, this is not just about, you know, one movement. Like, in order to continue on with the movement, first of all, you need to show really your solidarity, and by solidarity you have to pretty much do it as a community and not really go for your individual comforts, which is something very much applicable to now. So, you know, definitely a foundation, but not in the foundation that I thought it would be. And also another thing, too, is that this is pretty repetitive regarding the messaging and theming. Like, I was getting it, and there were definitely things on here that she's referenced that I've never heard about. Things I've learned briefly in school, but we've never expanded upon. So I definitely got to go back. Well, not just here, but also on here, too, because I did some highlights and stuff. I need to add that to the physical copy, but I definitely need to go back and see what she's referencing, to do my own personal research, because there are things I'm like, wait, I did not know this about this. I'm like, wait a minute. So for someone who's clearly not that educated on certain aspects of our history, this is definitely a good place to at least start. At least for references, it's not going to go that much depth, because it's very, like, the actual part with the speeches and the interviews is like 145 pages. The rest is like index stuff, and it did take me a while to read because of the fact, like, it is repetitive, and like I was getting it, so I felt like I was slogging through just to get to finishing this book. I definitely see myself reading more of Angela Y. Davis's work. Definitely see myself as well to continue on reading other books that are highly recommended. I do have a few books written by Palestinian authors as well that I plan to read. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Finished those 2 books. I had a Christmas Eve service, finished my crochet, I did some e-reading. I'll see y'all Tuesday, which is really just give me a few seconds for y'all, but I'm gonna come back here Tuesday to let y'all know if I decided to finish something or what. Hey everyone, so today is Tuesday, December 26th, and I am actually here to give y'all my final update and the vlog. So it is, I actually came back from work, so I just haven't really changed, so yeah, this is work clothing. So yeah, let me just update y'all on what I did on Christmas Day. I opened presents, of course, with my family, so I got books, and I did get a book light kind of thing. Hold up. Okay, found it. So yeah, I got a book light. Yeah. Okay, so for some reason though, one side of the lights is not working anymore. I think I don't know how to fix that, but you know what? It's fine. It is what it is. I'm happy with what I got with this. So yeah, got a nice open book light that switches color. And then I got 3 more books, but I'm not going to show you all those books are because I've already read. These are books I've actually already read, which is fine. Honestly, I just gave my mom a list of books I wanted to get. I mixed it up with books I already read and books that I have not read. So the chances of it all the books being books I've read, well, oh well, that's okay though. y'all are gonna see those books pretty soon anyways for end of year content and wrap up. And let's see, and then I was watching some American football, which was very, very interesting. Like, my mom was just playing it, so I was like, okay, let me just watch a couple of games. And I did try to read one more book yesterday and today, but I'm gonna be really honest with y'all. I'm DNFing A River of Golden Bones. I can't. It's nothing like there's anything bad with this story, because I was enjoying it. My problem, though, is that it's so aggressively fine, okay? Like, this is not even a debut. Like, this author has, like, a debut series, so this is, like, their sophomore series, I think? Because this is the first in a trilogy, and I have to say, this is very, very, very boring. So, I'm nearly halfway through, so I think I stopped at page 171. But yeah, this is just, it's so aggressively fine. Like, the plot is fine, the characters are fine, but it's so just, it has such interesting ideas, since, you know, we're dealing with, like, werewolves, and we have fated mates and stuff, and I'm like, okay, sure. And we're given, like, this Sleeping Beauty retelling, kind of reimagining kind of thing going on. That's nice and all. And we have a potential non-binary / genderqueer protagonist here. Like, that's nice and all, but, like, it's very dull and boring, which makes it so difficult, because I really did like the audiobook, but the story itself is so damn boring, and I really don't like this stylistic choice for some authors, because for some reason, there are authors that like to do this particular writing style, where they kind of, it's not quite a telling versus showing kind of thing, but it feels like it feels like the characters are telling the readers how they feel and how they're thinking, without allowing the readers to actually feel what these characters are feeling. Like, I get what Kala is feeling, because she's telling to us, because, you know, it's like her own thoughts, it's like under her own head, but I'm not really feeling that for her, and she's not a dynamic of a character for that to be helpful. Like, she's not really a complex character, so, like, this kind of writing style does not make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so damn boring, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, this is gonna be an unhaul. I cannot bother. It's a very pretty cover and all, and I wish this author the best for possible future books for other things besides this, but it's a very interesting concept. I did like the idea with werewolves and stuff like that, but this is just not it. So, yeah, that's A River of Golden Bones for ya. But yes, that is pretty much it. Let me just give y'all a quick wrap up and conclusion of this vlog. So, first up, we have reading sprints. So I will link the reading sprints that were going on. So I will link the one that Jesse hosted, and then Heather and I were guests of. I'll also link those sprints that Sandra from Gotta Think for Things on the Wednesday, like last Wednesday. I'll also link down Jesse and Jan's sprint, so that's the Readathon versus Holiday Book Rush sprints. And oh yeah, I also forgot that Sandra was hosting another reading sprint on Christmas Day, and I actually hopped into that sprint as well, so I will link that replay down below, so it's all in the description for y'all. So first book that I read was Lunar Love. I gave it 4 stars. A really, really solid, pretty good contemporary romance. Then we have a Holly Jolly Diwali. I give this one 3 stars. I liked it. I wasn't wowed by it. Then we have Love Radio, 5 stars. Like, literally the best book that I've read in this reading vlog. Then we have Mangoes and Mistletoe. This one's, I actually rounded it down slightly to 2.5 stars. This was just not really my thing. I mean, I liked it, but I kind of didn't. Like, it had some pros and cons. Then I finished reading Freedom is a Constant Struggle. I don't rate my nonfiction, but this is a pretty good, solid foundation if you want to learn about liberation movements and, like, how to, like, work and move regarding liberation movements and global solidarity, but not really on, like, Palestine itself. And then I DNF'd River of Golden Bones because I said all the things I need to be said. Aggressively average. But yes, that is it. For real, for real. That is literally everything. So thank you all for watching this vlog. And if you like it, subscribe if you want to. If you made it this far into the video and you just want to leave me an emoji, leave me a Christmas tree emoji. You know, and also, you know, if you want to write more, hey, let me know what y'all did for the Christmas season. If you do celebrate Christmas. Now, if you don't celebrate Christmas, let me know, do you celebrate a specific holiday around this time? I think today actually will be Kwanzaa, so if you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa, and belated Merry Christmas for anyone who celebrates Christmas, and a much belated Happy Diwali, and much delayed Happy Hanukkah for people who celebrate those other holidays as well. So, yeah. But anyways, thank you all for coming on to this video, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.